Oh, I would like to take some applause.
Man, being a streamer must be so hard. Anyways, I hope I'm not still sick, dude. This sucks.
This is kind of a weird quote, but okay. What? We have beaten.
Yo, EC Jordan day for the 10 get this check.
We have beaten the racism allegations. Okay. I don't know why this video is 15 minutes long, but we are not racist. So congratulations, guys.
Same. Destiny is edgy as fuck. He is insensitive sometimes. He does not understand black culture whatsoever. He's not in tune. Get in tune, my nigga. Like, come on, we lit out this motherfucker. All of the above. But I do not think he's racist. I do not think he hates black people.
We'll take it. Streamer of the year. Wait, where's Rage even under? Best just chatting streamer. Oh. Am I even on this at all? I don't get any mention anywhere. Fuck you. They don't have a politics section on it. No, okay. All right. We are endorsing Your Rage Gaming, okay? Oh, it's run by Cutie. Based. Okay, what is the lie that's destroying the economy? Oh boy. Oh boy.
Fan. Why can't Taylor Swift fans buy concert tickets without forking over their entire life savings? Why are all your favorite shows getting canceled while boring crap gets season after season? And why are prices for everything going up while all of us make less money than ever? What if I told you that all three questions have the same answer? This video is about one of the greatest lies ever told in America. It's about how the world's largest corporations tricked all of us into thinking that what's good for them is good for us. This one story explains why our economy is so unequal, so unfair, and so supremely, well, I was gonna curse.
Is it gonna be capitalism? What's it gonna be, boys?
But YouTube will demonetize me if I swear in the first 15 seconds, so let's just say fudged up. And it's about how all of us, including you, can fight back. Now, before we get into it, I want to thank everyone who supports this channel on Patreon. Your donations make these videos possible and allow me to pay my wonderful crew like Tony here. So if you're able to chip in, head to patreon.com/Adam Conover. I thank you, and Tony thanks you.
Thank you.
So what on earth could be causing all of these problems? The answer is mergers.
Corporate consolidation. Monopoly capitalism.
Oh, true. This is like the one thing that I just don't understand. I don't understand how some companies are allowed to like merge. I don't understand. I truly don't understand. I don't get it. So I don't know how antitrust works in the United States. I just don't. I'm just not informed on it. Okay, well, we'll see what he says.
The largest corporations in America have spent the last half-century buying each other up, becoming so huge that they've seized control of not just our economy, but our very society, making it less free, less fair, and undermining democracy itself. And I know, I seem pretty worked up, but I have been harmed directly by mergers, so I feel pretty strongly about it. And by the end of this video, you'll know how corporate consolidation has hurt you too. But you know what? Let's start with the people who've been harmed most, Taylor Swift fans. So in late 2022, Taylor Swift fans, who are normally known for being cool-headed, not easily perturbed, models of online restraint, if you will, lost their goddamn minds. The problem was two tiny words: Ticketmaster. When fans tried to buy tickets for Taylor's Eras tour, Ticketmaster's website crashed. Fans faced brutal, multi-hour waits to buy tickets, and when they finally were able to click purchase...
What do you think about Sony cucking Microsoft from buying out Activision because they claim to cause a monopoly, even though there's... Here's what I don't understand. Is this too... I haven't thought through this take. I'm about to give a take that I haven't thought through at all. Ready? I don't think any company should be able to buy any other company. Boom. That's the take. I don't think any company should be able to buy any other company. Fuck you. You have a company, you do your shit, and that's it. There's no reason why you should own vertically every fucking part of your supply chain or horizontally all your fucking competitors. I just don't think, I don't know if companies should ever be in the business of buying other companies. It just seems like the most free market, anti-competition thing in the fucking world. It's so stupid. What about Google buying startups? No, I don't think the model of you've got a huge company and the way that you compete is you just buy up anything that looks good. I don't think that's a healthy model for an environment, for firms to compete against each other. I don't like it. I just think it's stupid. The DOJ relies on pretty antiquated metrics to evaluate consolidation. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Activision ruined Blizzard. Yeah, especially huge companies buying other huge companies. It's just so wild to me. It just seems like then Google could never be competitive with new technology. Then develop it. Invest in R&D. I don't know. It just seems dumb to me. I just think it's stupid. Some of these companies own way too much shit. Some of these companies own way too much shit. And I think we'd all be in a better world if it was a little bit more diversified. Where would small companies get the capital to start up then? From investors. What do you mean? Yeah, why the fuck is Disney allowed to buy Star Wars and Marvel and yeah, I have no idea. That just seems wild to me. Well, that just seems so stupid. Why would Disney be allowed to buy like Marvel and fucking, yeah, and the Star, it just seems so stupid. I don't know.
Face take. Please unban me, smiley face.
So that we only pay one fucking subscription, you don't want to pay $10 a month for a rando studio streaming service? You mean like we already are? How many services do you have to pay for? Netflix, Amazon, I don't know, people still fucking use Hulu, YouTube Red or Spotify. What do you mean? Get Rgaepope in there? I can print you Rgaepope's exact answer. Rgaepope's gonna say, actually, it's beneficial to have mergers because ultimately it means that the cost is going to be lower for the consumer at the end, because by merging corporations, they're able to consolidate a lot of the internal structures of the company that's going to allow you to deliver a cheaper product at the end of the day for consumers. You don't want to have to deal with 52 different companies if you're trying to ship a product to your house. It's better to just let Amazon deal with all of it internally. That's going to be his answer, 100%.
Their transactions wouldn't even go through.
What's your rebuttal then? My rebuttal is that I think that companies can probably work out how to smooth or reduce the friction to the consumer at the end of the line anyway. I think they can work that out amongst themselves without having to be owned by one fucking company. And I worry sometimes that when I wonder sometimes if the anti-competitive environment, the problem is it's easy to see the gains we make through consolidation.
I might be dumb as fuck, but our antitrust law is supporting a free market. Isn't that a regulated market? Are you pro-free or regulated market?
There is no such thing as free or regulated market. A true free market has to have some level of regulation. Unless you're a libertarian brain dipshit, you recognize that there are going to be ways you can exploit free markets in really anti-consumer ways. The most obvious case being a monopoly, right? And there are multiple types of monopolies too that exist that require some form of regulation or other externalities that have to be accounted for by some third-party arbitration like the government. How though? What's the mechanism, Destiny? What's the mechanism for how they would smooth it out at the end without integration of those companies? What do you mean, what's the mechanism?
About Max. It's cringe and bad faith. Debate me.
What do you mean, what's the mechanism? What are you talking about? You could fathom a million different mechanisms. Look at how we use OAuth services. I don't have, like, Google and Destiny.gg don't need to be owned by the same company for you to sign in with your Google account. What do you mean? There's a million different ways to facilitate communication between companies. I'm not convinced that those corporate savings trickled down to consumers. I can't think of a single product where the price came down for buyers after a merger. Maybe. I mean, we don't know how much they could have gone up anyways, but I mean, I'm sure price could have down a little bit. I don't think we know. I don't think we know what we could be gaining otherwise. That's always the issue, right? Is what would it look like in a more competitive environment?
With you moms, and they acquisition my balls.
Yeah.
How do smaller businesses hope to compete with larger companies in the industry if they aren't allowed to consolidate or merge? Explain this. They can't compete right now.
Or do they?
They can't compete because of mergers and consolidation. That's the issue, right? You're never going to compete with Google because if you do anything that's even slightly competitive with Google, they're just going to buy up all of your fucking competition, or they're going to buy you. There is no competition when these companies can buy every single other fucking company under the sun. I don't think Like if I think philosophically how I would prefer like a free market to function, my idea of a good functioning healthy market isn't I'm a big company and anytime somebody else innovates, I'm just gonna buy their shit. That just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel good. That feels like a broken market. Like there should be entities competing with each other, not, oh, those guys have a good thing, I'm gonna buy them and own it now. Like that doesn't seem like a healthy environment for competition.
Huh, not much of a ticket master, are they? You know, if my dungeon master fucked up this badly, our D&D group would just find a new nerd to invite to the basement. Do your job or be replaced, Brennan. Sight. That's kind of weird, isn't it? I mean, when you fill up...
My prediction is Ticketmaster owns everything, and so they've got exclusive deals, and that's why mergers are shit. That's my guess.
Your car, you don't have to go to Gasmaster. When you need to buy a new tuba, you don't have to go to Brassmaster. So when we're buying our tickets, why are we forced to use these ass masters? Simple. Because Ticketmaster has built a monopoly over the entire live event business. Ticketmaster is currently the exclusive ticket seller for 80% of the top performance venues in the United States. These venues are contractually barred from selling through any other service. So if you want tickets to their events, you are...
Like, how is that legal? How is that legal? Why would you be allowed to do that? Oh, you know another good example of this? I hate the concept of side-loading apps. That shouldn't even be a thing. The idea that you could lock a phone out of downloading software from other things, that's just fucking wild to me. That's insane to me. Fuck that.
Forced to use Ticketmaster's busted website and pay their convenience fees. There is nothing convenient about a fee. If they were honest, they'd call it a because we can fee. Where else you gonna go fee. Our market dominance is so overwhelming that we can annoy the shit out of you on purpose just to make more money, ha 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 fee. God, I hate them. God, I hate them. I hate them. Fuck, I hate them so much. God, I hate them. I mean, think about this for a second. Fans hate these fees. Fans hate Ticketmaster. So why is one of the most hated companies in America used by so many venues? I mean, you'd think it would be bad for business to force your customers to use a broken service they loathe every time they want to give you money. So how has Ticketmaster been able to ram itself down our collective throats? Well, it's because of a big fucking merger that never should have been allowed in the first place. In 2010, Ticketmaster merged with Live Nation, the country's largest concert promoter. These two behemoths Frankensteined themselves into a monstrous new entity called Live Nation Entertainment. This single company now dominates every level of the live event business. They control ticketing, booking.
Wait, what? So in your world, if I make a company and it becomes successful and then I want to sell to a company like Google or whatever who it might provide a lot of value for, I wouldn't be allowed. I can't cash out. Why do you think you can't cash out? Why do you think that companies are the only things that can buy other companies? People can invest too, right? I don't know what you mean by that.
And promotion for the vast majority of live events in the country. They manage hundreds of the biggest artists, including U2, Britney Spears, and Madonna, and they even own and operate hundreds of the biggest venues in the country. This is what's known as a vertical merger, and it's dangerous because when one company gets control over every level of an industry, they gain power that they can use to squeeze out their competitors and fuck over customers and workers. Now, at the time, everyone saw the disaster coming a mile away. Artists, fans, and venues desperately opposed the merger. Even Bruce Springsteen weighed in. That's right, the boss was against this thing. Who's gonna disagree with the boss? Well, unfortunately, his best friend, Barack Obama, did. Despite the protest from artists and fans, Obama's Justice Department waved the merger through like it was a drone strike on a civilian apartment building. Obama's top antitrust prosecutor actually praised the merger, saying there will be enough air and sunlight in this space for strong competitors to take root, grow, and thrive. I mean, this quote is from the person whose job it is to stop mergers. This is like a homicide detective praising a serial killer. Sure, he dismembers and eats his victims, but his plating is beautiful. Now, Obama officials claimed at the time that there wouldn't be any problems because Live Nation and Ticketmaster promised in writing that they wouldn't abuse their power and bully anyone. They pinky swore, guys. You can't break a pinky swear. Well, this might shock you, but Ticketmaster and Live Nation fucking lied. The government found that almost immediately after the merger closed, Ticketmaster started retaliating against and threatening venues throughout the United States. If a venue even hints that they might use a competitor's ticketing system, Ticketmaster threatens to pull every Live Nation artist from that venue, starving them of business. One venue that signed with a much smaller competitor called AEG got an intimidating email from a Live Nation rep saying that they had an issue. 3 little letters. Can you guess what they are? Holy shit, these guys are like the mafia. If the mafia's entire racket was overcharging you to see Ed Sheeran, what's up with this guy? He's like the Shrek of pop music. Using these strong-arm tactics, Live Nation Ticketmaster has built an impregnable monopoly over the live music industry. Fans hate them, venues hate them, artists hate them, but we are all stuck with them. Even Bruce Springsteen is on tour this year with Live Nation, tickets available through Ticketmaster.
Nice.
Turns out the E in E Street Band stands for expensive. Thanks, Max. Gathering to listen to live music is one of the oldest, most beautiful, most fundamental human activities. But we've allowed one company to dominate it, ripping off artists, charging fans exorbitant fees, and making live music so expensive that many people can't even afford to go anymore. Now, by the way, I make my living performing live too, so I'm pissed off about this enough already. Speaking of which, I'm going on tour this year. Tickets available at adamconover.net/tour dates, not Ticketmaster. But I was also screwed by a different merger, and I'm even more pissed off about that.
Uh-oh.
So I've talked about this publicly before, but my show, Adam Ruins Everything, was canceled because of a merger between my network TruTV's parent company, Time Warner, and AT&T. When the merger closed, to cut costs, the new bosses fired everyone at the network and then canceled almost every show.
Damn.
Now, don't worry, I landed on my feet. I mean, look at me. Now I'm on YouTube. Please smash that subscribe button. But the AT&T Time Warner merger turned out to be such a historic disaster that almost as soon as it closed, they tried to figure out someone else to sell Warner to. And that buyer turned out to be Discovery and its CEO, David Zaslav. In order to pay for this mega merger, Zaslav announced that he would be cutting over $3 billion from Warner Discovery's budget. He then proceeded to fire hundreds more people and then took a blowtorch to the entire Warner content library. He removed content from HBO Max. He canceled movies and shows that were already done and ready to be released, and he specifically targeted animation, canceling beloved shows like Infinity Train, OKKO, and Tuca and Birdie, which, yes, full disclosure, was created by my romantic partner, the talented and beautiful Lisa Hannawalt, who I
Gamergate.
am deeply in love with. But fuck you, it was a beautiful show with tons of fans that people actually cared about, goddammit! Then, just a few weeks ago, they announced that they were raising the price of HBO Max. They're literally charging you an extra $1 not to watch Batgirl. Wow, paying more money for less choices. This merger really benefited the consumer, didn't it? Now, personally, I think if you're an entertainment company, burning your customers and your artists by raising prices while wantonly destroying the art that people pay to see would be kind of bad for business. But you know what? I'm no big shot with an MBA. It probably generated a lot of money for the shareholders, right? After all, that's what capitalism's all about. So let's just check the old stock ticker and... oh, God, no. David. Now everyone hates you and you're broke? Buddy, this ain't good. But ragging on Zaz isn't the point. Plus, my Writers Guild health insurance is expiring soon, so I need some work. Come on, David. Adam Ruins Everything, the movie? Think about it, you genius titan of industry. The point is that it's not good for any one person to have this much power over this much of our media ecosystem. Through his control of Warner Discovery, Zaslav now runs HBO, HBO Max, Warner Brothers Pictures, New Line Cinema, Food Network, Discovery Channel, Cooking Channel, Travel Channel, Animal Planet, Cartoon Network, Boomerang, Adult Swim, Cinemax, CNN, HLN, TBS, TNT, TruTV, HGTV, TCM, OWN, ID, TLC, and DC. You name some letters, this guy fucking owns them. That means that one man's whims and preferences dictate which stories artists get to tell and what hundreds of millions of people get to watch. If Zaz decides he hates cartoons or Batgirl or CNN's Don Lemon, it doesn't matter how much anyone else likes them, they're dead. And that's a bad thing, because media is, you know, how our society has conversations with itself. It's how we process events, spread new ideas, and tell our stories. A country in which just a few people control what art gets distributed and what the public gets to see is one that's less free, period. Oh, but it's not just the entertainment industry. It's happening everywhere, and it's happening to you.
Oh my God, there's
This
more.
virulent form of monopoly capitalism has spread to every corner of our society. No matter what you're trying to do, what human need you're trying to fill, there is a mega corporation squeezing out the competition and forcing you to pay more for less. If you want to connect to the internet, well, guess what? A few cable monopolists bought out their competitors, then divvied up the country between themselves, so in most places, if you want fast internet, you only have one broadband bastard to go to. If you want to be a high school cheerleader, I shit you not, you have to deal with the cheerleading monopoly. A company called Varsity controls 80% of the market for cheerleader uniforms and 90% of the country's cheerleading competitions. This monopoly is like, be oppressive, be oppressive. Yeah, pretty good. All right. Good. And if you wanna, you know, eat some food so you can fuel your body and live, you have to deal with the meat monopolists. Well, except for you vegetarians. Go ahead. Be smug for the next couple minutes. The rest of you carnivores have no choice but to deal with Tyson, a mega ag corp that's gobbled up at least 45 competitors since just 1995, making them the largest food company in America. Tyson Chicken is in your McNuggets, Tyson Pork is in your Sara Lee Cold Cuts, and Tyson something or other is in your Jimmy Dean Sausage. Just like Live Nation does with music, Tyson controls every step of the meat supply chain, and they use that power to fuck over everyone. They fuck over workers who are forced to take low wages because Tyson is such a large employer in their home state of Arkansas that in many counties, there's practically nowhere else to work. They fuck over the farmers, forcing them into contracts that require them to buy all their supplies and equipment from Tyson, then sell the grown chickens back to them at brutally low prices. Oh, and don't forget, they fuck over the chickens too, who, let's just say, are not treated well. And what about you? The humble consumer just trying to get your nug on. Well, you might have noticed that meat prices have been skyrocketing, while through 2021, industry profits rose 300%. This kind of monopoly power is bad for everyone in society. It suppresses wages for workers. It raises prices for consumers. It strangles other businesses, hurting the economy for everyone. And it gives a few people massive power over the basic necessities of life. And you know what the crazy part is? We used to know this as a country. Because if you turn the clock back just a little bit, we actually used to stop mergers like these.
How am I supposed to build a wall with these fucking train
American
tracks?
businessmen developed a new form of capitalism.
What?
It was called the trust.
Wow.
Mega corporations like John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil began buying out other companies with the specific goal of eradicating competition. This gave them complete power over vital industries like oil, steel, and transportation. And then they used that power to dominate our political system and to suck previously unimaginable amounts of wealth out of everyone else's pocket and into their own. Now, Americans back then realized that this was, you know, bad.
Oh,
In
Gates
fact,
can go over
they
tracks.
realized that
Cute.
it was fundamentally anti-democratic. In political cartoons, they depicted the trusts as an octopus destroying the Capitol building, a vicious ape who's kidnapped Lady Liberty, or as deadly vipers who Uncle Sam was fixing to smash with the noble stool of democracy. Yeah, go get him, Sam. Ooh, and hey, who's that in the background? Is there an Aunt Sam? Ooh, you naughty uncle. The point is, Americans understood this new concentration of power as a threat to self-government. I mean, after all, if one company controls the entire transportation system, or the entire power grid, or the entire media industry, well, then it has the power to control our lives, just like a despot or a king. And in America, we don't like kings. Down with the monarchy. LeBron is overrated. Stephen King's books are too long. If it's a king, we don't fucking like him. So, a popular movement arose that united farmers, city folks, journalists, and politicians dedicated to the principle that the power that controls the economy should be in the hands of the elected representatives of the people, not an industrial oligarchy. And you might not believe this, but that movement fucking won. In 1890, Congress passed the Sherman Antitrust Act, which banned monopolies outright. President Teddy Roosevelt took on the mantle of the trust buster, and his administration brought suit against Standard Oil and broke it up into 34 smaller, slightly more atypical oils. Now, ironically, the breakup actually caused Rockefeller to get richer because the companies were worth more separately than they were together, which proves that the point of these monopolies isn't to make money, it's to hoard power. In the years that followed, the Federal Trade Commission was created, and Louis Brandeis, the intellectual architect of the antitrust movement, was installed.
Thoughts on U.S. involvement during the February 2014 Ukrainian coup? Do you think this conflict would have happened if a coup didn't occur and the Ukraine 2016 elections were held like normal? My understanding is there's never been any evidence whatsoever presented that the U.S. was involved in the 2014 Euromaidan revolution ever. Don't think I've seen that ever. But if you have any evidence of that, feel free to shoot it my way. We can take a look at it.
As a
Most
justice
entertainment
on
areas
the
all
Supreme
consolidated
Court.
from 55 to
Antitrust
5
became
over the
a
last
part of
decade, and it's at
American
the
law.
detriment to
And the
anything but
decades
sure
after
things
World War
and for
II
boots.
saw more
Wow.
antitrust enforcement than at any point in American history. I mean, think about that. A grassroots movement fought back against the monopolists, broke them up, and wrote laws to make sure it never happened again. David kicked Goliath's wealthy ass. And you know what happened next? We entered the golden age of American capitalism. In the mid-20th century, unemployment and inflation stayed low. Union membership and social mobility
Destiny,
were high.
have you ever
and
seen the
America
Skippy series
became
from
about
Bad
as
and
equal
Preach?
as
Gave
any
me
point in
goosebumps.
its history.
That's the guy I picture when you
For
give
white
don't rape
people,
advice.
anyway.
Now say his
Racially,
face.
America
Wow.
was fully an apartheid state. But hey, check out these graphs. During this period, the share of income hoarded by the top 1% plummeted, while that of the 99% rose dramatically. This was also a period of unprecedented economic growth, because when one company isn't choking out the competition, new innovations and businesses can arise and thrive. Holy shit! Turns out if you don't allow a few wealthy people to hoard all the power, everybody prospers. Who would have guessed? But if we extend that graph a couple decades, nothing gold can stay. Because that gold is worth money, and rich people want to steal it. So after Standard Oil was broken up, John D. Rockefeller gathered up his tears and his money, and he founded a university called the University of Chicago. And in the 1950s, a group of academics there started developing a new theory. The big idea behind what became known as the Chicago School was that if we just trust Daddy Market, his stern, invisible hand will automatically make sure that there's plenty of competition in the economy, no pesky government regulations required. Needless to say, the wealthy loved this shit. They got super horny for all the money and power they could claw back once Uncle Sam stopped cock-blocking capitalism. So, they started think tanks to promote the Chicago School's economic ideas. They
Okay, I feel like the scope of this video has widened dramatically.
funded education and influence campaigns aimed at lawyers and academics to tell them antitrust enforcement was bad, and they spread free market ideology directly to the public. In a widely read book called The Antitrust Paradox, a Chicago school jurist named Robert Bork, sorry, wrong photo, but let's just leave it up, argued that antitrust had nothing to do with democracy or power at all, and that mergers were only bad when they caused prices to rise. Now, this is transparently a blueprint for approving every merger under the sun. Instead of having to weigh the rights of the public against the overwhelming power of a monopoly, all judges have to do is ask one question. Prices gonna go down? And if the corporate lawyers nod their little heads and utter, yeah, prices go down, bam! Merger approved! Ooh, and we can all still make tea time. But why would judges go along with such a transparent scheme? Oh, maybe it was because they were flown on all expenses paid trips to Florida to be re-educated at Chicago School economics seminars. This is how easy it is to buy power if you're wealthy. You don't have to donate billions to some political party. You just buy a judge 2 tickets on Southwest and a trip to Disney World. The guy's like, oh shit, there's Goofy. I'll do whatever the fuck you say. On the back of this propaganda campaign, mergers started sailing through at record rates, and they have been ever since, with disastrous results for our economy. Today, almost any industry you can think of is dominated by just a handful of companies. Oh, it's not just Taylor Swift, True TV, and chicken tendies. It's car rentals, dialysis equipment, search engines, candy, baby formula, adult websites, even mayonnaise. We're living under a mayo monopoly, people. Hellmann's and Best Foods are the same fucking thing. Wake up and look at the labels. Let's be clear. Monopoly capitalism is at the root of the inequality that plagues our society. It allows companies to pay workers less, charge customers more, and send the unearned profits straight to wealthy CEOs and shareholders.
Damn.
This is the single most important story
Please, Ella.
about the American economy.
Will someone tell me what game this
A
is?
movement
They are
born of the
billions.
anger
Tab.
of everyday Americans, broke up the monopolies, and created antitrust enforcement that lasted for decades. But it all came rushing back because of a revolt of the rich. They tricked us into believing that consolidation is good, and the result has been economic devastation for all but a few wealthy people at the top. So what the fuck do we do about it? Okay, I gotta admit we have an uphill battle here. How can you beat someone when they have all the money, all the power, and they've fooled the entire legal and political system into thinking that's a good thing? Well, I'm not gonna tell you the battle won't be rough, but recently there have been glimmers of hope. A new group of antitrust crusaders has been appointed to important posts within the federal government. People like Tim Wu, Jonathan Cantor at the Department of Justice, and Lena Khan, a 34-year-old antitrust prodigy who was appointed to be the head of the goddamn FTC. This new wave of antitrust policymakers have been dubbed the New Brandeis Movement, and they're leading a revolution in the way our government handles mergers. The
Wow.
Department of Justice successfully blocked a merger between Penguin Random House and Simon & Schuster, which would have created a monopoly in book publishing and allowed one company to exert massive control over the books you read. Lena Khan's FTC is suing to stop the merger of Microsoft and Activision, which could allow Microsoft to dominate the video game industry by denying their games to other platforms.
Wow.
And after the Ticketmaster debacle, the outcry from Taylor Swift fans was so intense, the Justice Department and FTC actually opened an investigation into Live Nation's monopoly. Yeah, you heard that right. Swifties are literally changing American antitrust policy. They don't need to calm down. They're not being too loud. If anything, we should all get louder. Look, I know the fight is going to be hard. We're up against two laws of the universe. The rich get richer, and money equals power.
Don't monopolies not last
But
long anyway,
we've
since the
beaten
nature of the market changes? Streaming replacing video stores.
I mean, maybe for huge paradigm shifts, maybe it's possible, but... Wait, is it possible to, like, brick my run? I can't build a mill because I need more workers, but I can't build workers because I need a mill. What am I supposed to just, like, kill some of my rangers?
Them before. And that means we can do it again. And the first step is to stop believing the bullshit. Stop cheering for media mergers just because your favorite superheroes will get to hang out with Mickey Mouse. Stop believing the CEO who claims that what's good for him is good for you. And stop accepting the tired old lie that the free market
Cringe.
is more important than the freedom of people. So whether you're a Swiftie or an animation fan or you just love a good chicken nugget, if we come together and fight for each other in solidarity, if we unite once again in a merger of our collective power, well, guess what? We can beat the monopolists at their own fucking game. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank Sam Roudman who helped me write and research this episode. If you enjoyed it, please support us on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/Adam Conover. And you know what? If you want more content from me, you can subscribe to my podcast, Factually, where every week I interview a different fascinating expert. And once again, come see me live on tour this year. Tickets available at adamconover.net/tour date. See you there,
Wow.
and stay tuned for the next episode in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Adam.